In this video, we are going to take a deep dive on Cori Close admonishing her team like an angry, disappointed parent. Before we start, if you enjoy the content, then please consider subscribing to the channel and giving the video a like. All right, let's get into this. Now, as you are aware, UCLA had a rough loss to USC, going down 80-67. And after the game, Cori Close was not having it. She crumpled up a piece of paper and said how her team did not show up and how pissed she was and how USC was the tougher, more disciplined team and that if anybody in the locker room wasn't going to change their ways, then they could leave.
Just really pissed off we didn't show up and do our jobs. And we credit to USC. They were tougher. And that's very tougher and more disciplined, and they did their jobs, and we weren't as tough, and we didn't do our jobs. It's pretty much like this. Nothing to do with that.
Now, in my opinion, this is just dumb. I mean, do you really think that UCLA was not up for this game? Do you really think the players were like, we're playing our crosstown rivals. We lost a few games ago to them. We're at home in front of a sellout crowd. Yeah, we just don't feel like putting it out there tonight. Come on. Toughness is not UCLA's problem, and they definitely weren't flat for this game. Fatigue might be a problem because they played Wisconsin at Wisconsin on Thursday, then had to fly back and play USC on a Sunday, while USC had played the Illini on Sunday and had the whole week at home to rest and prepare for UCLA. And yes, I know in the world of coach speak, we can't have any sort of excuse, but UCLA and USC have done a heck of a lot of travel. By my count, they've gone out east 3 times this season for 2 or 3 game road trips. And there's no doubt that that takes a toll. Like I said before the season start, that's the question. How are they going to handle travel and how will they be at the end of the year? So what does Coach Close do? Well, because our team played so bad, we need to punish them. We were going to have 2 days off to get away from everything and regroup, but no, we're going to have a film session and then we're going to grind away on the Monday.
I think that we've pretty much said, look, this is the way this train is going, and if you don't think you can make changes to be on it, tell us now. I want to have everybody that goes with us to Indiana to be going in the same direction. So the way we turn it around is people make a commitment and a choice and they be counted on. And we were going to take 2 days off, but we're not. We're going to take tomorrow off, and they're all going to watch the film, and we're going to come back ready on Monday to figure out what needs to happen next.
And then she does something else I absolutely hate. So she has Kiki Rice and Gabrielle Jaquez right next to her. She goes about praising how wonderful they are. And if everybody played like them, then we'd be fine. They showed heart. Nobody else did.
We have a team that's lost 2 games all year, and we have a lot to still play for, and we have a lot to be proud of. And at the same time, I'm really angry. And we let each other down today. And we always say the tougher, more together, more disciplined team wins. And we didn't have their back. These 2 right here fought their butts off. And they were trying everything to bring everybody with them. And we need more people that can be counted on to do their jobs like these 2 did.
And it's like, what are you doing? It reminded me of an episode of Dance Moms where Abby Lee Miller has Maddie show all of her trophies to the team and says, why can't you be more like Maddie? I much prefer Gino Auriemma's way where he calls out a player that he knows can take it. Whether it was at the press conference the other day where he said Paige is pouty and if she doesn't get the ball, she doesn't run. And
I mean, actually, she kind of forced us to do it because she refused to run up the floor when she didn't get the outlet pass. So if we didn't put the ball in her hand, she wasn't going to run up there anyway. So we're like, what's the point? She wants the ball in her hand and, she's pouting over there, so let's give her the ball.
Beckers knew what he was doing. She talked about it in the pregame. He's just like, Coach says I don't run only unless I have the ball, and not worried about it.
Yeah, Coach is always like, Paige doesn't run the floor, so we don't need to get her the outlet and everybody else run. But it's something we've been working on in practice.
On the other hand, he's been very positive with Ice Brady because he knows that she struggles with criticism and can't take it. She's a confidence player. You need to build her up.
You talked about it a little bit yesterday, but how did you like the way Ice came back today in her first game?
Fantastic. I thought, Ice thrives on confidence, like success, I should say. Success gives her confidence, and she needs to feel and taste success. And when she does, she just blossoms right in front of your eyes on the court. This is the best condition, the best shape she's been in since she got to Connecticut. She's worked incredibly hard. All year long, she's gotten better and better defensively. She's always been a terrific passer, and you saw that today.
And I'm thinking with Cori Close, who are you talking about? Obviously, I think it's Lauren Betts. She was a human turnover machine in that game. And maybe you weren't talking about Betts, but does Lauren know that? And is that a player you really want to have in her head? Oh, coach doesn't think I'm putting in. Come on. Then during the press conference, she says, we're going to keep some of this in-house. We're not going to disclose it out here.
But, I'm looking at, bottom line is we're going to keep some of those things in our locker room. But bottom line is these two did everything they could to get them together.
I'm like, what are you talking about? You've already disclosed it. You've put your dirty laundry out there because that's what you do. You did the same thing last year when Lauren Betts left the team. You went out there, had this weird crying press conference and made it a bigger deal than it was.
This one will be measured by everybody else on the outside by the end score, but it won't be measured that way for me. What Kiki and the rest of her teammates, what they showed from the inside out.
And this is exactly what you're doing after this loss. I'm not saying Lauren Betts is going to go off. I'm not saying that at all. But it was interesting when they asked Jaquez about the loss and Kiki Rice, they seemed almost beaten down. Almost this is like what we do at the end of the season is we fall apart. Take a listen to their answer.
Yeah, I think the disappointment is a little bit similar to our Sweet 16 game last year where we lost to LSU. I think similar disappointment. Same with our Pac-12 tournament game last year. And I think, again, we'll regroup, we'll get better, we'll respond from this for sure, but I do think that we're going to have to figure out a way to be different than we have been this entire year.
Yeah, similar to Kiki. Sadly, we've been in situations like this before, and we don't like it. So we really got to change. And from the leadership perspective that you asked, I think that for me personally, I just try to play with a lot of heart, and I try to feed that to my teammates, and that's just, I try to do the best I can with that.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot they can draw on, though. There's a lot they've done right, and right now it feels like this cumulative disappointment, but the reality is, they fought from 12 down against Iowa and came back to win. They've fought. Obviously, there's several games that we've played against really good teams that we have showed the toughness. And there is a lot for them to draw on, but I think it's hard right now to think in the moment. They have earned a lot of toughness. They aren't the same team they've been, but that doesn't change the fact that we've got to change things right now.
It was pathetic at the end how Cori Close had to interject and say, no, that's not who we are anymore. We've changed our habits. But, earlier in the press conference, you're berating them. We have these issues. And then, of course, they have all this scar tissue from last season, and you've just beaten them down after the game. So I'm sure I'll get comments saying I'm too soft and fine, whatever, but I just don't understand why you would beat your team down in a press conference at this stage of the season, even if you are really pissed off with your team. Take Kim Mulkey, for instance. They had the tough loss at Alabama and then come home on senior day and they lose again to Ole Miss at home. And Mulkey plays it off. Flau'jae Johnson wasn't there. We lost points because of her. And this really doesn't matter. We're going to be in the top 16 and get our first two games at home. I really don't care if we get knocked out early from the SEC tournament. All I care about now is being ready for the big tournament, not the conference tournament. And with Close, I would have played this loss off to USC. I would have said, yes, this is a bad loss for us. We struggled with fatigue coming back. We need to make adjustments. It's a tough matchup for us, as Akinwafu does a good job on bets. And they're a tough team to beat. I thought our transition defense was terrible, which needs to improve. As well, when Juju goes off, they're extremely hard to beat. I thought Jaquez did a better job on her in the second half. I might drop in a little complaint about the officials saying, by the way, Lauren Betts is going to the hospital to get checked out because she took so much punishment down low that wasn't called. Although they were great at calling the travels on her, but funny enough, Kennedy Smith was able to twirl to the basket with multiple pivot foots, but Lauren gets pushed off balance by two players and it's a travel. But no defense for her team or her star player. Cori Close wants to make it clear she and her coaches gave the team an incredibly awesome game plan, and these players went out there and screwed it up because they don't care.
I think you all know me well enough now that I'm going to say myself first, but I'll tell you, our team was prepared. And we knew what to do, and we didn't do it. And so we got to figure out the why. I know our team's hearts. I trust their work ethic and I trust their hearts, but something got in the way of us doing our jobs tonight and being dependent upon to do our jobs.
And to be fair, here's the upset in this video. I think UCLA made some nice adjustments during this game. I liked how they started throwing sort of stagger picks to get Kennedy Smith off Kiki. I thought that worked pretty well. Their inbound plays, they got a lot of nice looks off the inbounds plays. It was like, wow, every time they have an inbound play, they get an open look or a basket. In my opinion, USC had a good game plan. They kept on trying to get bets in the pick and roll with Juju or one of their bigs. It made it really tough on Duglic. I thought Barker tried to hold up well, but she was just rushed on offense. And on defense, I thought most of her closeouts were okay, but just good shots happened to be made over her. Even when she was guarding Juju, I didn't think she was doing a bad job. I just thought Juju made really good shots. The other thing that I think Gottlieb's done all season, which is clever, is she's insisted on playing double bigs. Even though if you look at the lineups, oftentimes having either Kiki Arieffin without Marshall on the court, it's actually a better lineup points per possession. But she did this to get them used to that. So when they faced UCLA, they were comfortable with that lineup. And it's smart. In the same way, I would say at Close, Kendall Dudley, yeah, she's a freshman, she's raw, but she really should be playing 15 to 20 minutes every game just to get her ready for this game versus USC for this year and for next year as well. Because if you're going against USC, you need to have athletic wings to compete with their athletic wings. But no, all we need to do is get tougher. That's the UCLA way. We're just going to get a lot tougher. Here we go. It reminds me when Homer Simpson's a supervisor and he tells his team to work harder. And what do? You hear the tapping a lot quicker. That's almost what Cori Close is doing.
Could you work any harder than this?
Sure thing, boss.
Hey, call me Homer.
No, we're not going to do adjustments or anything. No, you guys just need to work harder, and that's the key to us winning. Thanks a lot, Coach. Now it's over to you. Am I being too hard on poor Cori Close? Am I as soft as tissue? And does UCLA, were they not tough enough in that game, and is that why they lost? Your thoughts, your comments, all your poison is welcome. Have a great day.